Hello students, this video of mine is the next in series in continuation with the same topic, principles of inheritance and variation, subtopic codominance along with multiple allelism. In the last class we have discussed about one deviation from Mendel, and that deviation from Mendel was instead of complete dominance, that was incomplete dominance. Now here this is the next subtopic, that is codominance. Incomplete dominance is not the complete expression of one gene over the another, and as a result an intermediate trait is being expressed. That was there in the last class. Now that in continuation with this, we are here with the next concept, codominance. Now when you say codominance means the expression of both the genes will take place. For this, let's take the example of blood group system in human beings. The blood group system, ABO blood group system in human beings, is controlled by the gene capital I, right? Now this gene capital I is having three allelic forms, and the three allelic forms of it are represented as capital IA, capital IB and small I, right? Now with reference to the previous classes, you are already aware that whenever we write any gene in the uppercase, that is considered to be dominant, and when we are writing it in the lower case, that's considered to be recessive. So when I write IA, IB in the uppercase, these are the dominant genes, dominant alleles for the gene, and the small I gene is a recessive gene which is written in the lower case, right? Now with reference to these three alleles, according to Mendel, each trait is controlled only by a pair of alleles. Like tall was represented either as capital T or as small t, right? Dwarf was represented as small t, or we can say round trait is represented by capital R or capital R small r, and the wrinkled is referred as small r. Now here, instead of two alleles, how many alleles are there? Three alleles are there. Again I repeat, IA, IB, which are both written in upper cases, and small I, which is written in lower case. Now any diploid organism, we are diploid organism, so any diploid organism will receive one allele from one parent and another allele from the another parent. So there will always be a pair of allele. Now here, when we are talking about the blood group system, ABO blood group system in human beings, the alleles are three. And if you refer to the phenotypes will be four different phenotypes will be there. Blood group A, blood group B, blood group AB and blood group O. With these four types of phenotypes, the possible type of genotypes will be how many? 6 different genotypes. Now these 6 different genotypes, each of the 6 different genotypes will be represented as, when you're finding it out for A blood group, the possibility of A blood group will be with the alleles having IA, or the second possibility can be IA small I. Again in this, when there is a pair of allele IA, or it is IA small I, these two alleles are received from different parents, one from the male parent, another from the female parent. Likewise, when we refer to B blood group, the B blood group will have the genotype IB, both in upper cases, and the second possibility will be IB small I, one in uppercase, one in lowercase. When we are calling it as AB blood group, if a person is having AB blood group, so that AB blood group will have the genotype IA, IB, both in upper cases. Now here, this is the difference. When we say IA, IB, both in upper cases, two different alleles are there, and these two different alleles will be existing together. They will express the phenotype, that is, both the alleles will be showing their expression. And when you call it as O blood group, the O blood group will have the alleles small I, that is both in the lower cases, and this blood group is the recessive blood group. A blood group, B blood group, AB blood group and O blood group, all are A blood group, B blood group, AB blood group, all are dominant, whereas O blood group is a recessive blood group. Right? Now, when I say AB blood group, IA, IB, both are expressing. So here, this we call it as a codominant because both the genes are expressing. Now, what is referred to as A or B? We all know that the red blood cells of our body, they are coated with glycoproteinaceous covering on the plasma membrane. So the person which is having A blood group, that is the one which has the genotype IA both in upper cases, or maybe the another possibility IA small I. In both these cases, the red blood cells will be coated with which type of a sugar polymer? A type of a sugar polymer, right? Same applies to B blood group. When it is a B blood group, the red blood cells will be coated, the plasma membrane of the red blood cells will be coated with B type of glycoproteinaceous covering. When it is AB blood group, some of the red blood cells will be coated by A polymers, and some red blood cells will be coated by B polymers. When it is a recessive blood group, O blood group, neither of the glycoproteins, neither A nor B will be existing on the red blood cells because the person is having what genotype? Small I, small I. Now, with this concept of blood group, it has both, it is serving as an example for both codominance as well as multiple allelism. Multiple allelism means, this is in contrast to Mendel, as Mendel stated that every trait is controlled only by a pair of factors. But here, instead of a pair of factors, there are how many factors? 3 factors. 3 alleles are there, like IA, IB and small I. Codominance, both the genes are expressing, both the alleles are expressing, A is also expressing, B is also. Similarly, we can take an example for starch synthesis in pea seeds also. Now, when we refer the seeds as round or wrinkled. Now, round and wrinkled is a shape. Now, but this shape of the seed will be coming only as maturation. Now, the single gene product may produce more than one effect. Single gene can produce more than one effect. For example, starch synthesis in pea seeds is controlled by a single gene. But that single gene is having how many alleles? 2 alleles. One is capital B and one is small b. One in uppercase, one in lowercase. Now, when we write capital B, right? Now, capital B means the size of the pea seeds will be bigger. The size of the pea seeds will be bigger on maturation because the starch synthesized is in more amount. Or in contrast, when it is small b, that means the amount of starch synthesized will be less, and with less synthesis of starch, the size of the pea seeds will reduce. This will be the case in both homozygous dominant as well as homozygous recessive, right? But when it is a heterozygous, like when it is capital B, small b, then what will be? That is a heterozygous. In the case of heterozygous, the size of the starch grains will be intermediate. It will be intermediate. The size of the pea seeds, not starch grains, the size of the pea seeds will be intermediate and the starch synthesis will be taking place. So this is how we deal with the concept of codominance and multiple allelism. Hope you liked my video, this video of mine. In the next video, we'll be coming across with the next concept of genetics. Keep revising the text. You can solve as many questions based on blood group. You can check with your own blood group. You know your own blood group and find out the possibility of blood group of your parents, one parent and the another parent, male parent and female parent. Likewise, you can solve as many number of processes. Thank you.